What is up, bros, and welcome back. Now, you know what time it is. We are starting our train for the upcoming season of Void Edge by jumping on the technical test server and testing out a bunch of hidden and known changes. That being said, it is a good thing to keep in mind that this is just the test server, so everything is subject to change. But if past experiences have any indicators of the future, then we should be able to expect that most of these will be in the build when Operation Void Edge does go live. Lately, UB has been doing a crazy good job with quality of life changes, and it's actually really cool to see, and it makes me that much more hyped for the new season. I also want to apologize in advance. I've been sick for the last couple days, so thank you in advance for understanding. Hopefully I don't sound too nasally. I'm definitely trying my best for you all. But anyways, with all of that stuff out of the way, let's take a look at some of these new changes that are going to be hitting us very soon. Now, this first one definitely came as a surprise to me. I used to use window pixel peaks like this all the time, whether it be for spawn peaks or even just early kills on people approaching the building. It was crazy strong, but it looks like they're doing a complete rework around the windows, the way that they're barricaded. So even though I use that, I think that that's a really good quality of life change. Next up, we're going to take a quick look at some of the spawn kill fixes on the reworked organ. Now, when you play the new organ, you will notice a ton more of differences than just what I'm about to show you here, but these changes that I'm including really help make this map that much better. The run out to spawn kill into construction is now blocked, as well as the gaps in the windmill are now barricaded up, so you can't get shot running around it anymore when you spawn junkyard. If you follow me on Twitter, then you'll also know that the run out at the bottom of white stairs when you vault up on top of the washing machine to spawn kill in the street is also patched. And obviously there is a lot more, which is all part of what makes the map reworked, but those few are some of the standouts that are a little bit more relative for the spawn kills that we like to go for here in the fam. Now, speaking of patch spawn rushes, this is another one here on Border. This was an annoying one. A ton of people have done ever since Border has come out. I felt like it was a free kill if anybody just keeps their crosshairs on the front of the tank. But for newer players, I definitely see that frustration. So yet again, overall, I think it's a really good quality of life change. You'll see on screen here that even when you double dash as orcs, you'll still get detected for about a second and a half. So we'll have to work on a couple other spawn kills then. Next up, we have the runner-up for the intro clip, and I was originally going to use this one, but the first one just being on Hereford base makes it so much better. Anyways, this crate is now going to be changed from wood to metal, so it actually could have round-changing impact since you won't be able to shoot through it anymore. This could lightly assist in retaking the site, but I guess only time will tell. Next, we're going to take a quick look at the explosives change, where explosives now continue their area of effect if there are things like soft walls blocking it. You'll see in the comparisons that the new explosions actually indicate where the explosion happened, such as extra bulls being blown into soft walls, versus before you may not have even known where the explosion was happening. Now, I'm not going to go crazy in depth with this because we have so much more to get to, but if you would like to learn more about this topic, then I highly suggest the Logic Bomb podcast with Flanked, Pete, and Zyronic. In one of their latest episodes, they go in depth with this, and it's really interesting, and yet again, it's such a good quality of life change. Up next is a look at the DMR buff, where they all received increased destruction when shooting barricades, hatches, and any soft surfaces. This change is actually pretty significant, especially when you take a look at a map like Cafe, where there's 2 hatches on the rooftop that are impossible to reinforce. With 5 to 6 bullets per hatch from any DMR, you can take out both of those hatches and save a ton of other operator utility. So then it's just up to you and your squad to make the decision if it's worth making that gun swap. Now, before we get into the saddest change of this entire video, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the UB devs, because take a look at how beautiful this barricade gets smacked. Like, look, the window is completely soft and there's no debris. It is completely clean. It is gorgeous. So the way that they're now making the debris disintegrate after you smack it out of the door or window is just absolutely beautiful, and I gotta give a huge shout out to them for finally making this happen. Up next is a very interesting change to the way Valkyrie cameras stick to certain surfaces. I first noticed this one during a live match on Bank where I tried throwing my usual Valk cams on the top square plants and they just straight up bounced off like a bouncy ball. After that, I then went into customs to test it out, and sure enough, Valk cams don't stick to bushes like these anymore. One of my favorite cams on Bank used to be on top of the planter, but now when you throw that same camera, it's either gonna just straight up bounce all the way off, and it can even get stuck bouncing on the plant leaves. But since it's not actively stuck to a surface, it's still not an active camera. It's just kind of dead sitting there till you pick it up again. So it's definitely an interesting change, but sometimes we don't really see the full picture in what the devs have planned, and maybe there were some spots where cameras just went too far through too many leaves, and maybe it was just something that needed to be fixed. I wouldn't worry about it too much at all though. We have hundreds of insane Valk cams, and I'll make sure that you are all up to date with the best ones this season. Another interesting change that we noticed on the test server are that there seems to be these invisible ping walls that stop your pings from going through small areas even though you can shoot through them. Slayer first pointed this out to me, and after that I started to notice it a lot more in my future games. Sometimes you kind of have an idea of a tiny angle somebody might be holding, and so you go to ping it for a call out, but it definitely feels like pings are a little bit harder to get in the exact spot that you want now with the last update. Again, this may all change before the new season officially goes live, but it is definitely something to be aware of going into your next games. Up next is a closer look at the completely new recruit rework, and even though we won't be able to M870 rush as attackers anymore in a 5-man squad, there's definitely still going to be some juicy options. Now, when you're attacking, you'll now immediately be choosing your loadout versus which type of recruit you play first. Your options for attacking are Sledge and Thatcher's L85, Dokubi's MK14 or Capitao, and Gridlock's M249. Secondary options are the P12 handgun, Super Shorty shotgun, and the C75 auto. All of these also come with their own predetermined attachments, so that will also be a really nice change for new players that are forced to play recruit. You'll also now be able to bring 2 frags or smokes along with a breach charge, claymore, or stun. Now on the defender side of it, you'll still have access to the infamous M870 shotgun, or you can use Mute's MP5K for primaries. The secondary options are the SMG11 or the P9, and then you'll also have access to a C4, impacts, or a shield along with barbed wire or a bulletproof camera. Now this overall just makes recruits way more streamlined than before, which is nice because it used to be kind of a mess looking through all of the different recruit options that you had. This way is much nicer and kind of actually makes them more of a viable pick now, since you'll actually have attachments now. Next up, we're just going to kind of rapid fire through a couple different operator changes, and the first of those being that Castle now has access to the Super Shorty shotgun as a secondary option, which is really helpful since he can now make his own rotations around his castle setups without having to waste his impacts. Another nice operator change is that Frost now is going to have access to the Vortex holographic sight, where if you're like me and you prefer holos over reflex, then that's a great change. If I play Frost, I'm still probably going to take the shotgun over the 9mm, but this is a really nice addition to have. Next up, I'm going to take a quick look at the 2 new changes to general options that you'll have. If you're on console, you'll have the option for the drone after prep, which will allow you to stay on your drone at the end of the prep phase without forcing you off. So if you're running away from a defender and then the timer hits 0, you won't then be forced off of it. You can actually stay on it and continue running away. This has also already saved my drone's life a few times just in the last couple of days that I've been using it. If you're on PC, then you'll now have both the option for the drone after prep and the optional cross chat, which will allow you to choose which text channels come through to your screen. You can now have it be just your own team without having to read everything that the other team says too. Anyways, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you know of any more hidden changes, be sure to comment them down below, and if we keep discovering more hidden changes, then maybe we'll have enough to make a part 2 for the Bra fam. Anyways, I love you all. I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Peace.